Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special report on house prices, and in particular how our house prices here in New Zealand compare with those in America. Now obviously there's been a lot of talk over the last year or so about the credit crunch and how it was caused by a collapse in the housing market in America. How prices were overblown in America and how there'd been lots of lax lending. So a lot of people went to their bank or their mortgage broker and got hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy houses. All that did was pump up the price of houses. So the assumption is that the US housing market was incredibly expensive and that there was very high debt levels in America, much higher than here. So we've chosen to have a look at the numbers because there are a lot of people who say our market will not fall as far as the one in America because we're not as indebted or our prices aren't as overvalued as in America. The trouble is, when you have a look at the numbers, our market is more overvalued than in America. We are in more debt relative to our incomes than those people in America. Let's have a look at a couple of charts because we love charts here at interest.co.nz. Firstly, debt to disposable income. So how much household debt have you got and what does that represent compared to your disposable income? So in New Zealand, that number has risen very sharply in the last 4 to 5 years, from just on 100% to 162%. In America, it rose too, but not quite as sharply, to 130%. There you go. Just debt to disposable income, New Zealand, 162%, America, 130%. We're more indebted. Now let's look at another measure, debt servicing to disposable income. So how much of the national income, disposable income, is used to pay the interest payments on that debt. Now New Zealand traditionally has had a lower number for debt servicing to disposable income. That's partly because we don't use credit cards as much as they do in America, and that's quite expensive debt. So our debt servicing costs were relatively less than the ratio of debt to disposable income. And you can see here we bounced along just around about 10% of income for quite some time. But then, in 2005, it took off. It's now up to 14.4%. We've just overtaken America in terms of our debt servicing ratio, how much of our income we have to use to pay back or to service the debt. In America, it was winding up and it peaked just on 14%. It is now starting to fall. We're actually in more trouble with our debt than those people in America. Now let's look at another measure of affordability. So how many incomes do you need to buy the house, a typical house? So what's the multiple of house price to income? In New Zealand, at the end of December, according to Demographia, it was 6.3. And we were the most expensive housing market in the world alongside Australia, also on 6.3. America, 3.6. That says that our market is almost twice as overvalued as the American market. We are more indebted and our debt servicing costs to our income ratio is higher. So those who say that our market can't fall as far or as fast as the American market should think again. American house prices out last night show that prices there in the 10 biggest cities fell 20.3% from the peak of their market in mid-2006, and their market's about 18 months ahead of ours. Currently, our median house price is down 3.4% overall, although in some markets it's down 10%. In Mount Eden, Epsom, where I live, it's down 30%. So we're sticking to our forecast of a 30% fall in the median house price in New Zealand in the 2 years from the peak, which was November 2007. I'm Bernard Hickey with a special housing price report for interest.co.nz.